So, I'm trying to organize like a Secret Santa for my dorm because that's just the kind of person I am. I like to be in control of public events. Halfway through, I'm dealing with two different types of people. There's one type of person that wants one gift. For Secret Santa, it's like a $30 like a nice ass gift. And there's a separate group of people that want an entire week of very small gifts. And then maybe also a big gift at the end. Currently, they're fighting each other like two different clans. And I'm the mediator because I put myself in this position because I'm dumb. And sometime this weekend, I have to hang up a sign with definitive rules for Secret Santa. And like get that shit like all done, like all out. So it's a little like overwhelming, but also I'd like to explore the idea, like what is just like the ideal version of Secret Santa for like a college student. And this is both an intro and a prompt. Aiden, do you have a hot take for me?
A hot take. Ideal version of Secret Santa for a college student. You know, like, hold on. I'm trying to figure out what the word for this is because I have an idea in my head and I can't really express it very well.
Is it cumulonimbus? Because I always pronounce that one wrong.
Here's what I think. I find it hard to express cumulonimbus unless I've ripped like a huge vape, and then I can like express a real nice cumulonimbus cloud. No, so I think that the ideal version of Secret Santa for college students. Do you want like a legitimate answer, or do you want like a haha funny answer?
Let's do both. What's haha funny answer? Because that's always good.
All right, the haha funny answer, I think something to do with... Have you seen Mean Girls?
No, I've not actually.
All right, well, in the film Mean Girls, there's a thing called Burn Book where essentially everybody, and by everybody I mean like the three mean girls and then Katie. So the four mean girls write down things about other people. Some of them untrue, some of them very, very true. And the things are all embarrassing, and it's like, I think it would be libel because it's written slander. So it's like libel, and some of it's true libel and some of it's not. And I think with Secret Santa, it's just, it's for college students, it's like the naughty list is what it would be called instead of the burn book. And you just sort of write down shit about people in a public space, and then, but it's Santa themed.
But it's all made up?
Well, no, not necessarily. Some of it's true, some of it's not. But it's Santa themed, and that's the key. So it's the burn book, but it's Christmassy.
Okay.
So it's festive and good. And my serious answer is college students have no money. So
yeah.
So maybe like a small gift instead of a bunch of small gifts and a big gift, or a big gift or just a bunch of small gifts. Like a small gift would be cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I kind of want to do the thing that we do. We did, I guess, in Madrigals, which is like the one like joke gift, which is like a candy bar and then like a gift with a price range max of like $15.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a solid gift.
That sounds reasonable. Yeah, that's like a solid, like it can be caring and thrifty at the same time.
The gifts you got me for Madrigal's Secret Santa both years, by the way, getting me both years was real clutch, are some of my favorite gifts I've ever received, and I can see two of them right now in front of me.
That's awesome.
So I think that silly to expect some sort of big gift. It's not about the size. It's not the size that counts, and that's what I always tell women.
Mm-hmm. Because sometimes your penis is just too large, and they're like, "Whoa!"
Sometimes
you're like,
it's
no,
just
man,
too large.
That's not the size that counts. It's just, you gotta. I'm a college student. I can't make these jokes anymore. This is immature.
Oh my God, yes.
My parents listen to this podcast. I am an adult. I went to class today and I did calculus and I read Greek and drew cost curves. I can't make dick jokes anymore. This isn't funny.
I agree. And I think refraining from making dicks is it a good idea? Refraining from making dick jokes anymore is a good idea.
You just couldn't say that one. That was like cumulonimbus. Good idea is a brain trust your brain can trust. It's a comedy podcast where we find creative, actionable solutions to your real-life problems.
I'm Aiden Kinsella.
And I'm Bradley Berklich. And this is Good Idea. Heck yeah.
Hi, Brad.
Hey, Aiden. Speaking of being an adult, I'm also having to come to terms with the fact that I'm, as well as organizing Secret Santa, I'm also organizing the dorm Christmas tree, which means I have to go buy a Christmas tree and then gather money from people. And that's like an adult ass purchase. It's not like mortgage, but if you're buying a Christmas tree.
Yeah. I agree. So hear me out here. What about the Hanukkah tree?
We have a menorah for the Jewish kids too. It's okay. We're inclusive.
No, but what about the Hanukkah tree, though?
Do they have a tree?
I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Oh, we can put, like, you know, Stars of David and shit on that. I mean, like, yeah, it's like whatever. What does Kwanzaa use?
What about the Festivus pole?
Oh, fuck. We need the Festivus pole. We have
and the Big Atheist Rock.
Festivus pole, is that from Seinfeld?
The Festivus pole is Seinfeld, yeah. And as we've discussed before, mentioning Seinfeld is inherently funny because, like, you know what's funny? Seinfeld's funny.
Seinfeld's funny. I do need to make it sort of like, this is like an actual ass problem that I have, which is I need to make sort of our holiday season non-denominational. But I also want it to, like, personally, I think the Christmas aesthetic is better than suffering of Jewish people. And I know it's not like, that's not like the whole point, but like,
no, the Christmas aesthetic is easily aside from the atheist holiday aesthetic of just like the one really big rock.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's sort of symbolic of, could nothing make a rock so big that no, it's
could you make a rock so big an atheist couldn't move it easily?
Yeah, I don't. It wouldn't be that hard. I think that's a pretty good one, but I do think the Christmas aesthetic is very, very pretty. Like, I'm not remotely religious, and I really enjoy Christmas just from a aesthetic standpoint.
Do we want
and a energy standpoint?
Would Winter Wonderland be good? Like where there's like white lights all over? Would that be like fun? Because that's kind of
overdone.
Like overdone.
Oh, overdone. I really think that the Big Atheist Rock is the way to go.
Okay.
Although I guess that's exclusive to people who aren't atheists because they don't believe in rocks.
Yeah, you know.
No, we need to figure out something else.
Yeah. Snowman. That's not necessarily Christmas. That's just, you know, it's just cold.
Well, see, that's gendered. We need snow people.
No, he doesn't have a penis. It's not anatomically correct. It's just called a snowman.
I understand, but the penis does not determine gender, Bradley.
Gender
is in your head. Gender is in your head. Your penis is in your dick. You know what they say.
Just so you know, my private parts are just my enormous bottom half, which is just a ball. That's just what I look like.
One big ball with a small little thing prodding out the front.
Well, that's what a snowman is, right? Am I misunderstanding this? Where does the carrot go?
That is
no,
the
never mind.
carrot.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
I do like your Winter Wonderland idea. I think Winter Wonderland, though, we'd be lying to ourselves if we said it wasn't the Christmas aesthetic without the Christmas.
The holiday lights. Yeah.
I think that
it very much is.
Christmas is already basically a Hallmark holiday. I mean, it's not. I think that is the key. I don't.
Yeah.
I've never celebrated Christmas in a religious sense.
No.
Ever. And I can't, even when my family went to church, we never celebrated Christmas in a religious sense. It was just Santa and presents and candy and snow and lights. And I do think that what we do, I think what we do for the non-denominational one is just sort of accept the fact that Christmas is no longer a religious holiday.
I think that would work. I'd be very okay with that.
I mean, for some people, it is a religious holiday, and I don't want to take that away from you if that is your thing. I mean, I totally respect that. It's just like, from a logistical standpoint, it would be easier to just sort of disavow secular Christmas from religious Christmas in the sense of celebration.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also Yule.
What the fuck? What? Oh, we've definitely done this before. I don't know if I know any people that celebrate Kwanzaa, but like they don't deal with like Winter Wonderland because like Africa.
Yeah. No, there's not. It's not. I think
it's
that
so difficult trying to please everybody. Instead,
okay, are we gonna go with the make everybody miserable line?
Let's go with the make everybody miserable line because I
know you really like
this.
that. Yeah, that seems to be your. And this is why I like the Big Atheist Rock. Because I don't think anybody likes the Big Atheist Rock. I think the Big Atheist Rock is
it's just sad.
It's just sad, like the atheists.
There's nothing spiritual about it.
It's a big rock, and I think that it is very metaphorical for the atheist condition, which is just like, yeah, this sucks.
Made of stone, no girlfriend.
It's just the way that it is.
You just got to deal with it.
You just got to deal with it. And there's a big rock, and I think what happens is the rock is. I was gonna say the rock is spirited into your house, but I guess it's not because like there's nothing to spirit it into your house. So I think that they just sort of, the atheists all get together and they accept, I guess everyone has to do this because this is the new secular holiday.
Is the funny part of the atheist rock, because I like the idea that the atheist cannot move the rock. Is it not in their house? Is it nothing spirited it into their house, but it's like just sort of outside?
Oh, it's just outside, and the whole thing is that it can't move. And maybe every year the tradition is that they try to move the rock and they can't, and they're like, whatever.
Like, well, fuck. Guess we can't move the rock again.
Could atheists find a rock so big that even they couldn't move it? I think that that's very good. And it's very easy setup, too.
Yeah.
You just do the atheist pilgrimage to the big rock, and everybody tries to push it, and they can't.
It's like, shit.
Is the Big Atheist Rock the Mount Rushmore? And maybe there's something symbolic there with, like, the American religion.
I'm kind of picturing that I camped in Colorado for a long time. I did YMCA stuff, this is kind of ironic.
And by YMCA stuff, do you mean weed?
I mean Christianity. But I think it's kind of ironic that the atheist rock would be in the middle of a YMCA camp. And there was just this really big boulder, and everyone climbed on it. And I'm just thinking it's that rock. And I think all the atheists go to Colorado, and they go to the rock, and they can't move it. And then they talk about exchanging gifts, but they don't. And then they just go smoke weed.
I like that a lot. And I think that smoking weed is the closest to a spiritual experience they'll ever have.
That an atheist could ever have, I think.
Yeah,
really.
for sure. And I think I think we really figured this one out.
Yeah, we got it.
I like the Big Atheist Rock a lot.
So do I.
I think this is, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that I'm going to have to get a Big Atheist Rock. I'm going to have to find one, and it's going to be my rock. Maybe there's a different one, like in every sort of area, you know, because I think that's very interesting. Okay, this is not directly pertinent, but it's slightly related, and I think you might find it interesting. Back in ancient Rome, there were like the Gnostic Christians, which were Christians that I believe did not use gender in their hierarchy really, and their power structure was related to knowledge, because Gnostic means knowledge, and that's so instead of the patriarchy, it was a knowledge hierarchy. And agnostic is coming from that word Gnostic, which is just away from knowledge. Because you don't know. Because agnostic just means you don't know, which I think is super interesting and cool, and that's a fun etymology thing for you to know today. Now, where
does Gnostic come from? Which
I'm
language
not sure.
is that from?
I mean, it's an old word. It's Latin, I believe.
Because there's a word in Greek called nostos, which is essentially it's kind of like homecoming. So it's also that, mainly in that sense, it's sort of like a homesickness, but like a homesickness for a place that you have not yet been. So like at the end of his journey, Odysseus feels nostos for his home as he's going there. And that's probably not related, but it's definitely an interesting etymological
I could see that
phenomenon.
being related in a spiritual sense, because I think that there are a lot of people who, especially agnostic people, they maybe feel a lack of spirituality in their lives and they want to find that, but they don't know what it is. I'm not saying that about all agnostic people, but I definitely could see there being a spiritual connection to the idea of longing for a home that you haven't yet found.
That's very cool. All right. Welcome
do you want to do another prompt?
Classics. Yes, let's do another prompt. Oh, man.
I do think this episode is going to be called The Big Atheist Rock.
Oh, man.
I don't think we're going to top that.
No, it'll be very hard to. You pick. I'll wait.
Yeah, okay, I will. This is from Keegan. He wants us to make up the worst summer part-time job that a teenager could have.
Mm-hmm. The worst, caddy at Onwentsia Country Club. That would be the worst summertime job anyone could ever have.
Okay, well, tell us more, because you've talked about this in the past, but I don't think you've ever gone into detail about what was wrong with it.
The patrons. My boss was fine. He was actually kind of a nice guy. I was at times a jerk with little work ethic. But people were drunk all the time. People were rich and indignant. Someone threw something at me. Someone drove a golf cart into the water. just horrible, stupid shit that like only
sounds
only
like a college
someone
party.
Obscenely rich could do. It is a college party. Damn, fuck.
Someone threw something
like
at me. Someone drove
a college kid.
Oh my god. No. Okay. Maybe not a college kid. A caddy for a rich high school student.
Fuck.
A lightsaber caddy for Kylo Ren.
I would actually recommend the double-ended. I would recommend the double-ended for this head.
I would recommend
Mr. Ren.
the double-ended golf bat.
The double-ended golf bat for this one, Mr. Ren. But you could also do the one that looks like the cross, Mr. Ren, with the two little ones coming out at the sides, if you want.
Mr. Ren, I have a flamethrower here for you if you wish to torch the field in anger after you miss your shot.
I think just the force would be good, actually, for this whole...
if you want, the force would be really useful.
Write it over. You see, the problem, though, Mr. Ren, is that you keep using... I'm sorry, I don't want to step outside of my boundaries, but Mr. Ren, you do keep using lightsabers to hit this golf ball.
Mr. Ren, the ball... You keep cutting the balls in half, and... May I recommend? No. You cannot use the Death Star is not a golf ball. The Death Star is not. You will destroy the entire planet. You cannot land it here and shoot it with the fucking golf bat,
Mr. Ren, please.
No. I think that would be very bad. He's just like an angsty teen. I think if you do a bad job caddying, he cuts you in half with his lightsaber, or maybe just hits you with the golf bat. You know.
I've never had any truly awful summer jobs. I mean, like, what's like the worst job?
Okay, well, I worked at the beach, as I've talked about before, and I moved up the ranks, over my 3 years there. I'm not sure if I'll work there this coming summer. We'll see if I can get a research internship at my school. But when I did work there in the past, I started off just like basically as a fun position called the beach guard, where you would stand outside in 90-degree weather and tell angry old white ladies without stickers on their cars that they couldn't enter the beach that they pay taxes for. And it's great because you get yelled at a lot.
And you, by the end of it, Aiden, here, let me ask you this: Do all the women pay taxes?
They do pay taxes. Here's the thing:
you've been told that many times that they pay taxes.
They do. They pay their taxes. They've lived here longer than I've been alive. Their
fist will go right through my skull.
I know. It's really cool. They'll call the police on me. They'll fight the ticket. When they get the ticket, they're gonna fight the ticket. It's really great. I was a lifeguard my second year there, but I was only a lifeguard for half the summer because I was worried that I would fuck up and kill somebody if someone actually drowned. I do think now, actually, with the training I received my third year, I could probably actually save someone. But I did have to stop lifeguarding halfway through the summer because I wasn't comfortable with it. And I would say lifeguarding is probably the worst experience I've ever had in regards to things I had to do for my job, because you just sit there and at least for me, someone with anxiety, sitting in the quiet for an hour with nothing to occupy my mind is not good. I mean, it's not good for anyone. People are actually as happy sitting doing nothing as they are when driving to work. This is research study, and that is to say miserable. So lifeguarding is quite a terrible job for happiness, which would explain why I dreaded it all the time. And I didn't learn that until this week, but it's really interesting. And then my third year, I was a manager, a relief manager, but I mostly just did management stuff. It was really fun. Other than the fact that sometimes it was very hot outside and I'd be outside for like 10 hours at a time. The problem with the job, because the people there were all great, and after the first year, the actual work didn't suck so much, other than lifeguarding, I suppose. But it was more... Here's the thing, Brad, and this is why I think this might be the worst summer part-time job that any teenager could have, because I was not allowed to vape.
Well,
I was not allowed to have my vape on the lifeguard stand. I wasn't allowed to have my vape when I was managing or when I was beach guarding. I just was not allowed to vape on shift, and that's really... I think cruel because it's a job that is pretty much only offered to teenagers in the area. And I don't know how they think they can put all these teens there and just not let us vape.
Well, that's an excellent point.
And whenever I would roll my eyes indignantly at my supervisors, I would get written up, and I would try to use the internet, and they would be like, get off the internet. And I'd be like, but the internet is the future. And they'd be like, fuck you.
And there's like a guy drowning a couple of feet away.
There's a guy drowning, but it's like, oh my God, I have to go save him. Again. Why can't he just die already?
That's definitely true.
the job I think that might be the worst job that any teenager could have, is a job where you're not allowed to vape, because that's really the most important thing.
Could we make them possibly, and I know we've really just sort of done misery today already, but could we make them more miserable? I mean, could we do that?
Okay, well, hit me with some ideas you might have.
Requirement is no legs.
Requirement of no legs?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's very...
So we take your legs off right away.
Yeah, I mean, that's just training. That's sort of like thing one, no legs. It's like, just, it's provisionary. So you can't walk anywhere, so you have to start using your arms, which would kind of suck. And then maybe you're a waiter.
Oh, yeah, that's good. And what I like about that a lot, Bradley, is two things. First of all, they can never complain about their legs getting tired.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be like, I've been on my feet all day. It's like, shut up.
No, you haven't.
You haven't been.
Shut the fuck up.
And then the other thing I really like about that is it can be justified. That practice can be justified, A, through a signing of a contract, and B, the same thing where I learned about that that thing I mentioned about sitting and having an idle mind, because the human brain is evolutionarily designed to start thinking about problems when it's unoccupied, so it can deal with things that are threats to its environment. That's why it makes sense from a misery standpoint. But 1 year after winning the lottery and 1 year after becoming a paraplegic with no legs, people are equally as happy as each other.
Really?
There's research that says, I think we've talked about this before, after 3 months, if something happened, even if that thing was relatively traumatic, it might have psychological effects on you, but it no longer affects your happiness.
Huh.
This is a Dan Gilbert TED Talk. He's like a leading happiness researcher. I'm not making this shit up. Maybe there's new research since the talk has come out. I don't know. But I think that if that research came out, there must be at least some sort of kernel of truth to it, right? Like, that is a well-respected talk.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's enough. I just don't know if that's enough. I think there needs to be constant misery.
So I think maybe something gets worse every day. Just
every day, or maybe every 3 months.
Thing. Actually, here's the thing, Aiden, though, is if this job is shitty all the time, the job is shitty all the time. Like, because you hear people who, like, they have, like, a shitty job, and they hate the job. They, like, quit after a while because the job is just so bad. Like, I don't know if it's, like, gotten worse, but it's just consistently just been a horrible experience.
Yes.
Maybe there's, like, enough difference within the job that it keeps it interesting, but it's just consistently bad no matter what the thing is. So they end up quitting. Yeah, after, like, a year or, like, 2 years or whatever. So maybe the job is enough, but, like, maybe, like, not completely enough. Maybe you just kick them every day to sort of like drill into the fact that they just don't have any legs and they can't kick back.
That's cool. When you said, I like the idea of drill in, maybe you like drill a little hole, then you go like a little bit further in every day.
It's like a Saw movie. Fuck this. Ugh.
Okay, hold on. But now I want to jump out of your thing there for a second, because I think to your point, people quit after a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think
contractually obligated
we
to
start
no
off
quit?
No, well, that could work. But I was going to say, because you can break contracts. There are ways around that.
Okay.
I think you do something to make them super miserable. Cut off their legs day one. Okay. And then they get 3 months and 1 day to build back up to normal level of happiness. And they think things are going well. And they think the job is good. And then something terrible happens the next day, and all of a sudden, now they're a quadriplegic. Or maybe they get, like, induced with the flu from something they have to do at work. But, that was just a freak accident. That's not the job. But eventually, over the course of, like, a year or two of this, like, every 3 months or so, you vary the time a little bit. Always a little over 3 months, though. Maybe 4 months one time. You just create this quiet sense of dread regarding the job. But not anything bad enough to warrant quitting necessarily from an everyday standpoint, and make sure all the other staff are really nice. And I think the only way that this works is if you focus on one person to make miserable. So they can't make the case that there's bad treatment of the workers, and it all has to look like an accident.
So, Aiden, I'm very into this. My only problem is this is a summer internship for a student, and summer is how long exactly?
Fuck.
Yes.
It's 3 months.
It's only 3 months long. Maybe you just kill them at the end of it. Like, they're like, happy, just... That'd be like the worst one. I mean, like, your happiness would be probably
it wouldn't even be there
lower.
Anymore.
Yeah,
it would probably
that would be zero.
That could ruin your whole week.
That could ruin easily your whole life if you were dead.
If you were dead, that might ruin your whole life. There's a good chance. I think we figured it out. I do think just kick them cut off their legs, kick them every day so they remember that they don't have legs. Maybe they work at a place where people run. Maybe they're at a gym.
A running restaurant where people run all the time in the restaurant.
Yeah, you eat. It's a restaurant that only serves celery, and you have to eat it on the treadmill, so you burn 1 million calories while you're eating.
Do you burn calories eating celery?
Yeah, celery is a food that you can eat, and you burn more calories than you consume.
I like celery. I liked celery before I even knew that fact.
All right. Well,
okay.
Also, you can stick it up your butt.
Cucumber, man, it's the wrong vegetable.
That's fair, but I just needed to make celery funny because celery it was pretty not funny, so I had to say butt.
Why isn't there a VeggieTales celery character? Was he just too bland?
That's possible. Here's the thing that no one ever says about VeggieTales.
Yeah?
The cucumber, I think his name is Bob or Larry.
No, Larry. Bob is
It's Larry.
The tomato.
Bob's the tomato. His name should have been Tom, but whatever. Larry was very sexy. And I think that from a religious TV show standpoint is sort of my problem.
If you look up fucking celery VeggieTales, you just get the asparagus family. That's not what I'm looking for. Actually, there is a celery.
I thought there was a celery, but I didn't want to correct you.
He appears in one episode, and he's the Frankenstein.
The VeggieTales Halloween special.
Have I told you about the fact? Yeah, I guess. The
tagline is extremely spiritual, and there's a dash.
God is depicted in the VeggieTales once, and he comes in as the burning bush. Have I told you about this?
No.
And that God is the only character in VeggieTales who has arms? The burning bush has arms.
That's my favorite. Elaborate.
Isn't that fun? It's just I guess that God has that that power that the rest of the veggies do not. There's sort of the ability to hold things without looking like a me that God has. Yeah.
I think that that's truly what makes God godly. I have a question, Bradley.
God has arms. Yes.
Wouldn't it be pretty funny if the burning bush was talking about pubes? Like Moses and the burning bush, but the story is just about how he accidentally lit his pubic hair on fire.
I'm sure we can find a biblical reference to burning pubic hair here. Let me just go on.
There probably actually is something with that. Maybe in Leviticus, burn thine pubes so as to remove mites or some shit. I don't know. I haven't read Leviticus.
So I've Googled biblical pubic hair. The first 3 results are these things.
Just very sexy, godly pubic hair.
Is shaving pubic hair wrong? There's the is shaving pubic hair wrong? La Vista Church of Christ. Do Christians shave their pubic hair, uncovering intimacy? And then Bible lesson - godlike shaved pussy.
Okay, well we know that's true. I have a question, Bradley.
Horrible.
Could God have a cock so big?
I don't want to think about this.
If we were reading Leviticus, could God have a cock so big that he needed women to shave their pubic hair so he could fit it in so the hair wasn't in the way? If Leviticus did mention pubic hair, which it does not, and it was written in modern day when we know the science about pubic hair we know now, which is that pubic hair does help prevent sexually transmitted disease, or infection, I should say, then Leviticus, from what I know about Leviticus being a book of cleanliness or whatever, has some extremely problematic verses that have caused some extremely problematic views towards some groups of people.
Yes.
So I'm not trying to defend Leviticus here, but at the time it was written, it did serve a function of being a guide of sort of how to prevent yourself from contracting certain diseases. It would say not to shave thine own pubic hair or anyone else's. And I did just say orn because I think if you put an N at the end, it's old-timey. So that's just a sort of fun revisionist history, Leviticus history, in Kinsella hot take on pubic hair in the Bible. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it was maybe one of the most intelligent things I've ever said about pubic hair, which is really saying something.
I think definitely sort of in terms of intelligent things you set up, it does rank, but
it does.
That is a small sort of list of things.
It's really not a high bar to clear.
No, it's not. You kind of whatever. That's fine. You're creating an episode of The Big Bang Theory, but it's set in 1890. What are you doing? What's going on? It's sort of like they're special. So firstly, I think Sheldon gets the whatever fucking plague they had. They had some shit. It was like the Spanish flu or whatever. They were just like, oh, what is it? It's 1890. I've got the lung cold dust.
Time to go to the flu store to get the flu. Got to get the lung cold.
I gotta go to my dry goods store, get some dry goods.
I had that one disease where one lung was very hot and the other one was very cold.
Ugh, that was a bad one. The feet just sort of, started to do that shit.
I think I don't know any of their names. I know Sheldon. That's it.
There's Penny.
Okay, there's Penny.
Penny gets sent off to work in like the Triangle Shirtwaist factory, and she's killed in the horrible fire. I think is what we
I like
did there.
that a lot. I think that's really good. Who's the Indian one?
Can we just call him the Indian one? That's not good. I mean,
whatever.
We know
he has
who
a name, but
about.
I don't know his name. But we know who we're talking about. He definitely gets some kind of foot fungus, and like that's a whole thing.
That's like a thing.
And he keeps trying out like different medieval remedies and just none of them will work. And then the end of the episode, I think it does come back to the to that sort of B plot at the end of the episode, where all of a sudden all the characters in the house have gotten the foot fungus and they're like, the Indian one. And they all get mad at him and they look at him indignantly and the episode ends.
Da, 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 da. And that's the Big Bang Theory theme.
Yeah, that is the Big Bang Theory theme. And it all started with it. I think, didn't Bowling for Soup do the Big Bang Theory theme, or am I misremembering that? No, that was Bare Naked Ladies that did that. Because Bowling for Soup did the Phineas and Ferb theme. I just think in the next episode, though, they wouldn't have the foot fungus anymore, right? Like, is it like South Park where it always resets?
It would reset. There's that dude who looks like Zach Morgan. Maybe he met, like, I don't know. Okay, so imagine there's a character on the show who looks like Zach Morgan.
I don't know who Zach... Oh, I do know who Zach Morgan is. No, the audience does not know... Our listeners do not know who Zach Morgan is.
Okay, so you know the guy on the Big Bang Theory who's none of the ones we've described already and not the one that looks like a Beatles.
Okay.
Google, here, we gotta just fucking, you audience along with us, Google picture of Big Bang Theory. Pic of Big Bang Theory. Okay, so Aiden, I'm looking at Sheldon is in the middle wearing Green Lantern shirt. Dude who looks like a Beatles is next to him. Indian one is on the same side next to him. Dude who looks like Zach Morgan is next to him on the other side. And Penny is, all the way over there.
Okay, I see that. I do see the one who looks like a Beatle. I like him a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so he's formed the first British pop band somewhere.
I do think that's most likely the scenario. I think he is the Beatle. Right?
Like
he's clearly an allusion to the Beatle.
He looks like all of the Beatles put together.
He does, and I think that was
that?
intentional because he is if you watch the show, you can tell that he is a thematic allusion to the Beatles.
Is he?
He lives in a huge yellow submarine, Bradley.
Oh, it's been a while. I need to brush up.
No, because there's the episode where Sheldon tries to figure out how to breathe underwater so he can go down and see his friend, but he doesn't want to pay to rent a mini sub, and then he drowns, and it's like a whole thing, and they have to resurrect him using the fucking holy water.
So he goes off and he starts a pop band, and the dude who looks like Zach Morgan, who he does, doesn't he? Like a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure.
It's the glasses and the smile. Okay, so there's a dude who went to our school who looks like that. And then he I don't know. I feel like he has to get a safe dropped on him. Didn't that happen a lot in 1850 or whatever? Didn't they just they were just they was in
there were safes, pianos,
walking around New York and just yeah, we got okay. So this TV show, I want to just clarify, it's shit. This is fucking awful. Nobody should ever produce this because they're trying to milk it as much as they can.
They're cowards. They haven't tried to do anything as progressive or interesting as what we're pitching right now.
I am very adamant it should never be made. I never want this to happen.
No. This is our IP. You can't have this. We invented this Big Bang Theory spinoff. This is not allowed to happen.
What's the phrase?
For what we're doing right now, IP theft.
This is not theft. That's a big word for such a little man, Aiden. I think we need not dwell in that territory. But okay, so here could Sheldon go bounce or no? It's Could it be Gee Whiz?
Well, because in the modern Big Bang Theory, he says bazinga, right?
Yeah, but like, could we be like, oh,
it would be
razzle
Eureka.
dazzle?
It would be Eureka. I like yours, but it would have to be Eureka, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Because Bazinga is just like a parody of Eureka, and if this is a parody of Bazinga, then it has to be Eureka, and I think that might be the name of the show is Eureka.
So he's like walking around, he takes off his top hat, and he goes, Eureka, and like a bunch of laugh like just happens around him, and the whole world goes, what the fuck?
Laughter, maybe like some tomatoes, like rotten tomatoes are thrown at them, and they're all
some
put
Bob.
in headstocks, you know?
Ooh.
I think that's good. I have two ideas, and I want your appraisal of both of them. First idea, I do think, as I mentioned previously, every episode it sort of resets, the canon resets, so it doesn't maybe have the same plot structure as the current Big Bang Theory, which I know just has like a rich and involved plot.
Yeah, it's like a big lore
with a lot of secrets and story and whatnot. I think the Big Bang Theory lore is something we take out, and instead there maybe there's like with the DVDs there does come like a packet of lore. And it just sort of explains the background, but the packet is, I guess, in scroll form. It would have to be a lore scroll. I think in the spirit of South Park, Penny dies in every episode, just like Kenny in South Park. You killed Kenny. So that would be really funny and a nice South Park reference that our 1890s viewers would really appreciate.
I do like that.
Second idea, young Sheldon, in which Sheldon is a young apprentice with a low pony. I am referring to his hair. And he's eager to start his woodworking apprenticeship. I think that would be very good. And he's like a huge nerd, and he really annoys the person who he's trying. Maybe every episode he's trying to get a different apprenticeship, and he just annoys the shit out of whoever he's trying to get a apprenticeship from, because he's like, actually, wouldn't it be pronounced like this? And then he's like, get out. Maybe he goes up to the woodworker, and he's like, actually, wouldn't it be pronounced log? Because the log used to be spelled Logge. And most of the humor does revolve around correcting pronunciation and old-timey words.
I like the idea that Penny has to die every episode, because I'm kind of digging the idea that if she's like not dead by the final scene, all the characters just gang up on her and like beat her to death, or like pull out a gun and like shoots her.
I mean, that's basic Deus Ex Machina. I mean, you just make something. If it hasn't been done, if the story needs to progress in a certain way.
Yeah, like it's like the last 15 minutes, and like they all start like eyeing each other up, like, hey, Penny hasn't died yet. They're like looking at. They're not saying anything because like, you know, she doesn't know. She just dies.
For sure.
She's not aware. But then like it's like those like last 2 minutes, and they're like kind of getting nervous, and like finally it's like the last minute, and they all sort of like start closing in, like readying their brass knuckles and like top hats with razor brims in them or whatever the hell they used back then.
Yeah.
And, like when they finally like subdue her, young Sheldon is like, Eureka, and the thing just like to black.
They get like a Garrett, loop it around her neck, just strangle her. I like that a lot. I think, hear me out here, one of the episodes definitely ends with an homage to the SNL skit Dear Sister, where like they all pull out guns, and Sheldon like points it at Penny, and he shoots, and he's like, what you say? And then Penny has a gun, and like she shoots the Indian one, what you say? And then all of a sudden like the guns start going. It's like that SNL skit. I think that would be super, super good. Again, something the 1890s viewers would really appreciate. My third and final idea, and then I want to do one more prompt after this and close the episode. Okay. It is called The Big Bang Theory, so maybe we have one more remake of the show that does take place, and it's just sort of like amoebas right after the Big Bang, like at the first creation of life.
An entire episode of just like, have you ever seen that video of I don't know if it's like a mollusk or like a sea animal in some sort that's just floating around the ocean? There's like smooth jazz behind it. Like that's what it is, but like for like 2 hours.
I think it would have to be that, but instead of smooth jazz, it's like the theme song to Happy Days.
That would be funny. Or like Cheers.
Yeah. Stupid. Stupid and dumb. Maybe like the amoeba has like a little Green Lantern symbol on it, and like, yeah, so you know.
It's like labeled Sheldon, parentheses.
Shelled.
Shelled? Yes.
Shelled? But it's spelled Shelled, and it is a mollusk.
Excellent.
Do mollusks have shells? What's a mollusk?
I don't care. It's fine. It's whatever.
Doesn't matter.
All right. Well, we've made something great.
We really have. I would really like to watch this. I'd really like to watch Eureka.
Eureka. Big Eureka idea?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh, man. All right. What is our final prompt?
Yeah, final prompt. My mom is late all the time. What are some ways I can get her to be on time? Bianca. So this is from our listener, Bianca, and she wants to know how we can get her mom to be on time. Now, do we want to go with the carrot or the stick? Or some combination of both?
Let's start with the carrot, but maybe start with like the iPhone. So, Bianca, your mom is late because you don't know where she is. You're not like ensuring like 100% of the time, like, here is my mom, here is how she's like gonna like get to this place. Like, I'm not saying it's your job, but if she can't do it herself, like,
you should have a tracker on your mom's iPhone. And I think
track 24/7.
Now, Bianca, are you sure you're in the right place? Like, your mom's not late. It's just like you are in the wrong. Your mom's supposed to pick you up at Navy Pier, but you're in Ohio.
Mm-hmm. It could be a little, yeah.
Have you thought about that? I think that could be a problem. What do moms like? I mean, I know moms do like iPhones, but I think moms, they like Lululemon yoga pants, right?
My dad, I told you my dad got really into Lululemon. He spent like 8 years. We moved to Lake Forest and everyone was like, everyone was wearing it. And he's like mocking all these these like skinny white women with tight pants with dyed blonde hair. And then he went into the store and he bought a pair of pants and now it's just all he wears.
Holy fuck. That's so good. I mean, I just got MeUndies lounge pants last week, and they are literally the most comfortable thing I've ever put on my body. So I'm very, very happy with that purchase, and I'm certain that not MeUndies, but Lululemon is very good as well. I mean, they have a very good customer service. They're really good about replacing stuff that breaks because it is supposed to last a long time. So it makes sense that it's expensive.
Just so I know, did you end up going to dinner with lunch with my dad, Aiden?
I sure did go to lunch with your dad.
How was it?
I literally just got back from that before we started recording. It was so good. It was a really good time. Yeah, I hung out with Mr. Berklich today for a couple hours. We drove around in the convertible. It was snowing outside, so we did not put the top down. It was a solid time. It was a real solid time. We went to the other door, got burritos, you know.
Was my dad on time?
Your dad was on time.
So that's because I knew where he was and I reminded him. I texted him.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we might be onto something here. So you do need to put a tracker on your mom's phone. That's just right. I mean, you hear a lot of kids talking about like, oh my God, my mom put a tracker on my phone. I can't, whatever. Yeah, that's because your mom shouldn't have a tracker on your phone. Your mom is late all the time. You should have a tracker on her phone. You're the responsible one, Bianca. That's what you got to realize is in this relationship, you need to be the mother.
You wear the pants here, Bianca.
You wear the Lululemon yoga pants in this situation. But I was thinking though, mom bait, right? So she needs to know where her mom is at all times, and her mom needs to know that when she shows up, just from like a learning, a psychological learning perspective, from a conditioning perspective, Bianca's mom needs to know that when she goes to pick up Bianca, she's going to have something that she wants when she gets there. Because no one wants their kids. Like, kids are cool for like 2 years tops. And then like at that point, it's just annoying. So there's no incentive. The incentive to pick up your kid is you'll get arrested if you don't. So I think, Bianca, you should have maybe like
Could it be a Go-Gurt? Does your mom like Go-Gurt, Bianca?
Does your mom like Go-Gurt? Because you legally have to tell us if your mom likes Go-Gurt. Otherwise, it's entrapment. I have an idea, Brad.
Okay.
Can she give, Bianca, can you give your mom like a star system or maybe like a red light, yellow light, green light like they give my little brother in school? So like when you're doing... when she's doing a good job, you have her on green, but maybe if she slips up, you like, oh, you're moving down to yellow. And if she gets enough, if she gets enough greens every week or enough gold stars, she can come to you at the end of the week and pick like a fun bouncy ball out of the prize box.
That would be good.
I think that would be really good. Maybe like a scratch and sniff sticker.
You could also do this, and this is what we did for an actually genuinely long time. Is you can set all the clocks, and Bianca, this is actually like a real thing. So we just had daylight savings time, but you can go in your house and you can set all your clocks back like 30 minutes. And your mom, she will think that she's 30 minutes late all the time and rush to the place and then be there sooner than she actually thought. She'll be like, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. That
gives her like 30 minutes extra in the day. That you're doing her a service at that point. Bianca,
essentially.
2 questions. First of all, are you still in diapers? Do you still wear diapers, and does your mommy still have to change your diapers? Because clearly you can use the internet because you're able to submit us this prompt. By the way, this prompt was submitted through our Instagram at Good Idea Cast, where you can direct message us prompts whenever you might want to get an idea on the show. But is your mom maybe dreading picking you up because she's still changing your diapers? Are you still pooping and peeing your pants? And if the answer to that is yes, maybe potty train yourself or get someone else to potty train you. That is your mom's job. You can talk to her about it. My second thing, Bianca, is if you're not still wearing diapers, because I think that's a highly unlikely scenario, but it would be a reason maybe your mom was kind of dreading picking you up. Maybe she's late. She's like, I don't want to fucking change her shitty diaper again. Can you, every time your mom is late, be like, Mom, you're treating me like a child that doesn't have thoughts and feelings. I'm going to start shitting my pants again, and then you're going to have to deal with that. And just sort of do like a threat. And then maybe next time she's late, like you pee yourself a little bit. And then if she's late again after
horrible.
that, then you totally soil your pants. And then you're like, oh, Mom, if only you treated me like an adult and showed up when you were supposed to.
I feel like this does end up worse, though, if somehow her mom, like, could you do, like, magic to just be like, Mom, if you show up late again, I'm going to make you piss yourself. And your mom is going to be like, what the fuck?
Whoa.
Like, I'm
so
sorry.
You convince your mom that you're a wizard and that you can make her poop and pee herself. You're a pee-pee wizard.
But also, if you're a wizard, you could just make your mom show up on time. So, Bianca, if you are a wizard, do just do that, because that's what I highly encourage.
I think that would be really, if you are a wizard, spirit your mom to where you are, or if you don't have that power and you are a pee-pee wizard, just start making your mom pee her pants every time she's late.
Negative reinforcement is the most powerful.
Can you steal your mom's car? Negative reinforcement is when you take away something negative that is happening. So it would be that your mom was already peeing her pants, and then you use magic to make her stop peeing her pants if she starts showing up on time.
I thought that was positive reinforcement.
No, positive reinforcement is giving her something good. So like if your mom wants to pee her pants, then maybe you make her pee her pants when she shows up on time. And that would be positive reinforcement. Could you convince your mom that God isn't real if she's religious, or that the spirituality isn't real? Make your mom an atheist and then tell her that the Atheist Rock is where you are. And then if she doesn't get there on time, she won't be able to move the Atheist Rock this year. And just convince her this all the time.
But you're never able to move the Atheist Rock.
I know, and that's why this always works.
Oh my God.
I think we've come full circle, Brad. Do you mind if I take us out?
I do not mind at all. Aiden?
Bianca, I hope we helped. All right, that was our podcast Good Idea. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to contact us to send us prompts or just talk or whatever, ask for advertising, whatever you're feeling, we are on social media, and you can find us on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Tumblr at Good Idea Cast. You can find us on Gmail at Good Idea Podcast. Good Idea Podcast at gmail.com. Fuck. If you liked the show, then you should share it with a friend. Give us a rating and a review, or some combination of that, one of those things, whatever you got time for. We don't have an advertising budget, so sharing the show by word of mouth is the only way for us to grow. And I know for a fact that this works because our numbers have been steadily climbing ever since we started asking people to share the show a couple months ago. So for those of you who have shared the show, thank you so much, because it means the world to me to see that more people are listening to and enjoying the content that we work so hard to produce.
Our numbers do actually go up. It's kind of sick. We get more popular.
It's really good. And I mean, it's not even just about popularity. It's just, for me, it's like, I just like knowing that I'm making people happy with something I'm doing. And so thank you for sharing the show.
If you're listening to the show and if you're unhappy, stop
listening. Yeah, don't listen for us. Like, we're doing this for you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Please do share the show with anyone you think might enjoy it if you get a chance, because it helps them out, it helps us out. And it's actually just the best to see that happening.
Hell yeah.
Bradley.
Yes.
What is your favorite idea of the episode?
Well, we had a lot of good ones this week, but I will have to go with the Atheist Rock because we decided it at the beginning. It was very good.
I mean, the Big Atheist Rock was solid. I'm into the Big Atheist Rock.
Very solid.
I mean, I got to find my Big Atheist Rock. Hey, Brad, what's your Big Atheist Rock? That's what it's really about, is finding yours.
My Big Atheist Rock is this big rock I found.
Oh, it's just a big rock?
And I labeled it Atheist Rock.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How big is it? Is it large? Or is it just big? I mean, it's big?
No, it's like the size of a bread box about.
Smaller than a really big bread box, but bigger than a really small bread box?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, if someone was like, is it larger than a bread box? I'd be like, no. And if someone was like, is it smaller than a bread box? I'd also be like, no. And then the person would be like, is it a bread box? I'm like, no, it's like a bread box sized rock.
It's about the size of a bread box, but it is a rock that says Atheist Rock on it. What's your pick of the week?
My pick of the week, usually my pick of the week is some sort of like song, but I've been listening to mainly old artists. Is there much new media I've consumed this week? I gotta think to myself about this. I've been listening to a lot of Low Cut Connie. So that's my pick of the week, is that band. I think I recommended them already. They're still good.
It doesn't mean you can't recommend them again. I actually think I may have recommended mine already as well. Bradley, you'll be probably glad to hear this. I have actually finally picked up Going Postal and actually been listening to it. I kept making it to like 2 hours in and restarting. I'm like almost done with the book, and it's good as fuck. So Terry Pratchett's Going Postal is really good. I'm looking forward to reading more books in the series now that I've actually had time to like get into the world of it a little bit. I really like the guy who reads the audiobooks. So, check out Terry Pratchett's Going Postal if you are looking for a fun, entertaining fantasy book. It's very funny as well, and it's extremely well written.
Do you know they're making there's going to be there's going to be a Good Omens TV show that's heavily publicized.
I have not heard about that, but Good Omens is actually the one I wanted to read next, so that's extremely exciting.
Well, there's going to be a Good Omens TV show starring David Tennant.
Oh shit, bro. What about the other one? Aren't there two characters?
Amazon Prime. Yeah, the other one is it's some other British actor. They only have like 4. It's Michael Sheen. There's Michael Sheen and there's John Hamm, who's the guy on Mad Men. He's going to be in it too. So there's a lot of good stuff. Yeah. And then there's going to be a Night Watch TV show also. So I'm very excited for all of this hella good stuff.
Well, I'm really happy for you. I'm happy for other Terry Pratchett fans. Hey, thank you guys so much for listening. We love you so much. And that was a good idea. I got to go find my Big Atheist Rock. We're done here.